narcissist is doing this, they then fall into the trap of trying to convince the narcissist of who they really are. And that's because if you've been raised, especially if you've been raised with a narcissistic parent, they've made you feel like you're not allowed to have your reality unless they agree with you, right? There's always been only one perspective, and that's theirs. And they want you to think that you can only see yourself in a positive light if they see you that way as well. And you'll know you're in this, you're stuck in this if you are constantly trying to explain, over-explain to the narcissist, trying to point out the reality, trying to point out the truth. Meanwhile, they're just constantly denying the reality. Okay, that can be like a never-ending loop. If you are waiting for the narcissist to see who you really are so that you can give yourself permission to be you, you're setting yourself up for failure. Okay, the real way to reshape your self-image and to see yourself as you really are is to start valuing your perspective. It's to start learning to see life through your eyes, even if the narcissist in your life disagrees with you. In other words, they've taught you that there's only one perspective, but you have to teach yourself that there are two. And that means if the narcissist says something to you like, you know, you're such a selfish person because maybe you actually were taking care of one of your needs, right? And they want you to think that you have to revolve 24/7 around them. So they say something that they know will hurt you because you don't want to be a selfish person, right? So they'll say, oh, you're so selfish doing that. If you find yourself trying to convince them that you're not selfish because, you know, you actually have to eat, it's been a long time and food is like necessary for life. That's just an exaggerated example. If you find yourself defending yourself, then you are not trusting your perspective. Okay, now we would explain in a healthy relationship to somebody, but we have to understand this is not a healthy relationship. Narcissists do not see your perspective. So when you're trying to over-explain who you really are, you are giving energy. You feel depleted and they feel as if they've just refueled. So the way to handle that when you respect that there are two perspectives is to say, you're allowed to think that. I'm good. I'm happy with what I'm doing. Thanks for sharing how you feel about this, but you know, I feel good. And you stay in your perspective, even if they disagree. The more you strengthen your perspective, the more you listen to yourself, the more you will start reconnecting to you. Okay, because narcissistic abuse causes you to chase their understanding, trying to connect with them. It's exhausting. But the more you try to connect with them, the more you're abandoning yourself because your inner self is wanting and needing things and you're totally, you know, ignoring that, trying to get through to somebody that just doesn't want to hear you. So when you see yourself in that pattern, okay, once you understand that narcissists don't want to see your value, you are a valuable person, but they don't want to see it because in their twisted prism of reality, by seeing your value, they think they're lowering themselves. So they will never see your value. They will never let you know they see your value. But some ways that it slips through is the fact that they often imitate you. The things you once cared about, they care about. Things that, qualities that you had, they suddenly have. Now, it doesn't seem authentic. It almost seems like they're faking it, which they are. They're imitating you. But those are the ways that they inadvertently let you know how valuable you are without telling you that you're valuable. Regardless of whether they inadvertently do that or not, you can start seeing your value. You can start seeing your perspective and living in harmony with it, and you will start feeling empowered, even if the other person never changes. Even if they stay negative and seeing life horribly, doesn't mean that you have to suffer because that's how they choose to see you. That's a perspective. That's not reality. You can start seeing yourself as you really are. And if you need help and you're struggling and you just feel like it's too hard and it's a losing battle, join us in the Thriver School of Transformation, because this month, that's what we're talking about. We're deconstructing the self-image that narcissists try to mold and force you to stay in. And we're really learning reprogramming tools to help strengthen the authentic self so that you can live life as you really are.